Lone Druid mid.
Oh,
Lone Druid
Sven's playing Miracles, playing Sven.
He's played Jug yesterday as well, and they ran Lone Druid mid.
We saw an interesting Lone Druid from Matu before, leading into his own devices.
Yeah.
Miracle on another melee mid. What's this?
No, Miracle will probably do a side lane. It's just like a Jug yesterday. And they'll put Lone Druid mid, that way if the gank comes in, again, he'll run the bear. Similar to what they tried to do yesterday.
Which was rewarded, right?
Yep,
I mean,
it worked out.
It really impressed you guys on the panel. We ended up talking about it, but I do need your predictions then for this one.
I'm gonna go with LGD because I don't have as much faith in Sven being able to get a bunch of kills early compared to a Jug.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Liquid. I like that they have like a multi-core lineup versus just like what looks like a single core Bristleback.
Single core Bristle to the Bristle main. What are you saying?
Forever young, so LGD.
Oh, you got such a beautiful voice.
Thanks.
You've been he's a man of many talents. First chess.
Singing 1v1 maybe?
SingStar. Do you ever play that?
No.
Nope.
All right, anyway, SingStar Esports is coming up next. First, though, let's get some Dota going with you casters.
Series. Some have criticized them for being a little bit reliant on outdrafting their opponents, haven't shown necessarily the individual skill or depth, but I've been impressed by LGD. I think this patch favors them, and they feel very confident to me coming in, but what are your thoughts on the matchup as we're about to get underway?
I mean, fitting to their name, they're a young team. They're emerging kind of out of nowhere in the Chinese Dota scene, and they have completely caught everyone by storm. I think Liquid has prepared well. We see it in their bans, we see it in their draft. They seem to think they have a solution for what LFY are doing.
Yeah, certainly coming in pretty hot in terms of individual play for Team Liquid. Going back to the Matumba, Lone Druid once again had some huge plays with Savage Roar last time around. For LGD, Forever Young, to me the story of this team really has been Afu. His roaming support play, whether it's the Night Stalker, this game probably his most signature hero over the last year or so in the Earth Spirit. They also have another playmaking support in the Disruptor, but it's really it's been that roaming from Afu, the mid-game team fighting, where LGD have just pulled ahead in so many of these games.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see the GH versus Afu matchup. I feel like GH has shined more on heroes like his Io and Toddle, heroes that have been banned out. The Slider's been kind of a go-to pick when they can kind of fit it in with these physical damage draft, but he doesn't really shine on the hero, and I feel like Afu can outplay him in the early game as far as making moves, making early kills and ganks successful for LFY.
And we've seen some very starved Slardar supports in this tournament. I think it's been run at least a handful of times, and every time I saw it, granted small sample size, it did not perform well. Now they do have the Darkseer, so that's potentially a way to help him get a little bit of farm, make him relevant with less items between the Surge as well as the Ion Shell, but nonetheless, we'll have to see how the support Slardar experiment works out today as the teams get ready to enter the field of battle. Bounty Run's going to be snagged up. So we're going to see Super, probably the biggest change this series. Nobody letting him get his Death Prophet or Dragonite's basically been given away second phase most of the event, but I think, like you said, Liquid definitely did their homework. They're going to force him onto something different in the Lina. And while Super is a very stable player, he's not really known, say like Sumail is, for being able to take over a game on a flashier core like a Lina.
Yeah, and additionally, I'd say for their overall game plan strategy, Lina's not a hero that's going to enable their like 5-man, let's push down some towers, let's get some early ganks happening. The DK Death Prophet are much more push objective-oriented mid-heroes, whereas the Lina perhaps not quite fitting that same category.
You can see Afu making an interesting move here on the bottom lane. I think he's dragging the creep wave around. Yeah, indeed he is. So tried to mess with the equilibrium, maybe give the Batrider slightly safer lane as Liquid are tri-laning this. They want to pressure Inflame. Winter mentioned he felt like Inflame has really stepped his game up and cut down on the deaths in the offlane, and that's been a big story for LGD. And right as I say that, they do come in again. Stun number 1, stun number 2. Crystal Maiden not quite in range, but they've got the slow. Is the caster curse too strong? He fairy fires, he jukes, he's out, he gets crushed again under tower. GH tanking it, but it's Afu to the rescue, not quite in time. GH will end up getting the kill, combining with Miracle. Does he make it? this. He's got to at least get this runner. He walks into 2. He starts taking a beating. He will get the counter kill. Now blocking Miracle, doing what he can while the Earth Spirit rejoins the fray, but there's still a Crystal Maiden in the skirmish. Kuro's a bit squishy, but they don't have any levels here on the Batrider, so a 2-for-1 and a first blood for Liquid.
Well, you cursed him, LD. What were you thinking?
It's the cast.
Pick this game, but the key is the Batrider's laning stage. Liquid are contesting it. They dedicate 3 heroes down bottom. To some extent, CM was kind of in the jungle when that gank initially started, but they recognize shutting down this Bat early can go a long way. And we'll see how they look to guarantee the Bat some levels and some good farm. Getting that like early drums, blink dagger, whatever it may be, is going to be crucial as Bat is their pick-off hero.
Yeah, certainly a hero that can come back, as Slardar is flanking on this bottom lane, just posturing fairly aggressively. But the other 2 lanes that we're taking a look at, Matumba Man did pretty well against Super. Super holding his own so far against the Lone Druid, all things considered. Yep. As far as CS goes, obviously Bristleback. This is the lane that LG really should dominate, the top dual lane. They're getting the early levels on the Disruptor here. 6 CS for him as well, so yeah, sure, Bat dies a little bit early, but Disruptor can help set up those plays to get the Bat back in the game even before he gets a blink. So I think LFY is totally fine with the trade, even if it's not ideal to give up that first blood.
Yeah, what I'm seeing from top is that Mind Control, he's level 3.5, managed to get experience, but not farm. He only had 2 CS until just now. He got his 3rd CS. He's really been kept away from the lane, even though he's been able to kind of go up and not get killed off. So very well played by LFY to just constantly deny the wave. We see 10 denies on the Bristle, the highest in the game, and that's kind of how you have got to play against the Darkseer nowadays. If you're running these dual lanes, you're not going to be able to zone him out, but you've got to make sure that you get those denies and don't just let him farm with Iron Shell.
Pause, and we will have a moment here for the teams to collect themselves, waiting for the lag to cool off. So far, pretty quiet laning stage from Afu, mostly been reactionary with his movements, just trying to help out the Batrider. But I mean, for me with Afu, it's not necessarily so much that first like 5 minutes. It's much more been like the 5 to 15 minute mark, more at the end of the laning stage and the beginning of the mid game where he's had his biggest plays. The Night Stalker obviously gets involved a little bit earlier, but
yeah, he's kind of just looking to. I feel like his initial plays, like there was that fight at bottom at the T1 tower. His goal this game with his laning stage was to secure Bat levels and a bit of farm. The fight is the Batrider's jungle, so he just stops taking that camp. He doesn't want to split the experience, the farm with the Slardar. He'd much rather just come back, stack it again, and farm at some later time. So GH is going to continue to be a pest.
Well, Sprint already active. Well, Scurry back has the boots picked up nice and early, but does need to be careful not to stick around too long, getting pushed back by Afu and into a DD rune. Afu snags himself something juicy, rolling up the hill and away to freedom.
That was a nice play. He kicked him as he used Crush, so he actually missed the Crush, it looked like.
And GH, meanwhile, trying to come in mid, diving towards Super. With movement here early from GH, and simultaneously the Crystal Maiden also posting up in the river, but not going to commit towards the high ground.
The level 5 Lone Druid just looking for an entangle. Any route could lead to a kill, so very dangerous lane to be in as a leaner at this stage.
Well, Matumba Man is the first Lone Druid player to actually have an entangle button on his keyboard, if this tournament's any indication. The first hit roots are strong with the young lad from Finland.
Bottom lane does look like they want to press the Miracle.
They've got quite a few sticks and sticky napalm here, diving onto Miracle, roasting him in the flames. Afu joins the fray. The Stormbolt is there. Might be able to turn this. Liquid descend in numbers. They brought in 3 and Inflame down again. Now the chase is on. Miracle sticks up. Won't be able to finish off the Earth Spirit, but so far so good for this Liquid tri-lane, getting the job done.
Miracle, just like a nice little stutter step, caused a very wild boulder smash that wasn't even close to hitting him, but he made it look as if he was going to be moving back towards his tower to the right. And that missed boulder smash costs Inflame his life. So he does get to come back in, and knowing that Sven's kind of lowish on HP and mana may lead to some extra aggression, but you've got CMOR, you've got Tangos. Sven will quickly regenerate himself back to a pretty healthy state.
Haven't been able to find that opening to go for a kill here on the Darkseer top as Super rotates in. Good boulder smash to start, and the follow-up from Super and Inflame is enough. Good kill for LFY. The Slardar's been aggressive all game, and they are finally able to punish. Laguna coming soon.
They have to punish this Slardar. Every time he goes there, he's slowing down the Bat's jungle, so not killing him means your Bat's not farming. So by bringing in Lina, you secure a kill with her help. You get the Bat Rider's jungle back up. Very essential play to have happen.
Well, he's already top now. Slardar just right back in the fray, and they do have this double Ion Shell combo as Mind Control gets more aggressive, cutting the waves, feeling confident that he can make something happen. Will he be able to bait DDC out of position? It seems like he has. The wily veteran falls right into Liquid's trap as they sprint it from behind. Slardar there, drops the kinetic field, won't make it out. Liquid heating up. 4-2 now the score. And with that, a bit of a gold lead starting to open up. They're even going to move on to Monet. He's out of mana here on the Bristleback. Not actually all that scary without it, but enough quill damage that Mind Control and GH aren't able to chase any further.
Yeah, nice pressure. GH being very effective here, even with the death or two from the bottom lane and contesting the jungle. He has managed to cause rotations.
And Flames Firefly getting forced out, but really wants to steal these stacks on the bottom side of the map. Still level 5 despite the deaths, despite the pressure.
Mid lane LD, there's a Laguna thrown on Matu, but
not enough follow-up damage. Looks like Savage Roar drove the Lina away. And Kuroki calls for another pause. Yeah, it's feeling choppy for us too, and we are hardwired in this time, so it seems like it's not just on our end, the players feeling the lag as well. It's a big match for both teams. You know, a win here might just be a TI invite on the line, not to mention $500,000 in prize money at stake.
yeah. See the strength of the Lone Druid mid, very hard to gank with the Savage Roar. You go on the hero, the bear roars you. You don't really want to use disables to stop the bear, you need to use those for the hero itself, and Liquid showing their prowess here in the lane stage. Already a 1,000 gold lead, nothing massive, but considering we're just 7 minutes in, it does show some effective plays coming out of GH with his rotations, as well as just some solid laning all around from all three of their core heroes.
Yeah, without the Bat Blink, it pretty much just falls to the Disruptor to set things up. Afu is a level 2 Earth Spirit. There's not all that much you can do to enable ganks heading into the mid game without likely feeding a kill in return. So, with that Disruptor being pressured a bit, DDC closing on level 4 here, but still some time until he's going to have the Static Storm level 3 Glimpse combo potentially. He's gone for the 1-1-1 build.
Yeah, more so than the cores and where they're at. The experience difference between the supports is, I'd say, a bit concerning for LFY. Both their supports are a full level behind their counterparts on the other team. CM already level 4, being able to jungle a little bit. We'll get that second point in aura, I imagine. And Slardar also closing in on level 4 is being able to stack, find some kills, and beating all 4 of the kills so far on GH.
Try. We will try.
Okay.
So far it's working out okay. Matumba's gonna shrine up here. Is gonna be going for his standard Midas and a Radiance build, I imagine.
Got the full phase boots on his bear, so has some very good chasing potential. Very hard to lane against this as a Lina. If you go just for the brown boots, you're on the bear, you don't really have that burst movement speed to chase people down, but he can solo kill so many heroes because of this.
Monet being pressured here by GH, wants a piece of those creeps. A small little victory for him. As Liquid transition this into a dual lane, so they feel like at this point the mid lane's very difficult to gank with the Lone Druid. Now having access to the Savage Roar and some points in the root, he's already level 8. So for the most part, CM can tend to jungle. They can put the dual lane pressure top. Sven can rotate from jungle and shoving in the lane, and they're successful thus far, though it might turn now with the rotation coming from Inflame. Rotates onto Mind Control. DDC there. Mind Control mans up, and the Conehead goes down. So Liquid, losing their off-laner, did force out the rotation. A total of 4 heroes on that northern half of the map. But they're looking for more. The timely root on Super. Combos with the Crystal Maiden. Chucks out the Laguna. Boulder Smash coming through. They take down the Lina, and Matumba looks to turn. They get the Crush as well. Afu locked down. Doesn't have spells. Doesn't have a plan B. And Matumba now rotates onto this tower. Immediately starts smacking it. Doesn't even have the creep wave here, but forces out that glyph nice and early. Yep. They just play around the Lone Druid so incredibly well.
Just whatever free damage you get on towers you take in. That was just really nice rune control from Liquid. Every time the runes are coming up, the bear would go top, the CM checks bottom. They're guaranteeing that they're securing every single rune that's popping up. And because of that, CM gets an invis, rotates mid, just waits for a root, and then it's an easy kill on Lina, who does not have good escape against a Lone Druid bear.
And I'm not feeling like this Lina is getting the kind of support that, you know, for example, we saw from Sumail, where anytime there was the slightest bit of pressure, you'd have usually a core TPing in, if not both supports just camping the lane. Already a slightly more difficult matchup for Super here, and on top of that, he's not getting a whole lot of love, just the Earth Spirit coming in, so Lina, yeah, heavy hitter if she gets the farm gods, but this stage, she could be pretty squishy and vulnerable to ganks. That one root, and you're basically dead to a follow-up, and Super's not getting that help from his team.
Absolutely, and I'm not sure exactly how easily that can happen and where it can come from. Earth Spirit's the hero that ideally rotates mid, but that's more first couple of levels. At this stage, you're 9 minutes in, Earth Spirit's level 3. This is where you get to the point where you're like, we need to give Arthur a lane. We can't have him being under level. He can't keep sitting mid. And the result is that Lina may just be brought down a few times.
DDC wants to make a play here on GH, finds the Glim, Super, going for the stun, gets the cush off, however, and now trying to scurry his way back out to safety. GH manning up when LFY probably thought he was going to just back away.
Yep.
Very well done, ensuring Lina doesn't get to auto-attack that whole time, doesn't get that follow-up slave off, and
there's also a missed stun, I believe.
Retreat.
Yeah, missing the Dragon Slave. They kind of fumbled that one using the stun, like, trying to hit it as he pulled back, but ultimately not the end of the world for LFY. They just want to make sure they can secure Lina lane to get some farm, but kills would have been able to enable that a lot better. It does feel like LFY have decided it's time to apply some pressure on the map. They send the Bristle bottom, trying to have him pressure this tower while giving the safe lane to the bat to try and secure themselves like some early items there, get the fast drums up so that the bat can be more effective.
Liquid flexing right now. All the while, Sven just the ticking time bomb in the jungle. Leader in net worth, combined with the Lone Druid Midas of Matumba Man Miracle. And Matumba topped the net worth charts, and compared to the Lina especially, a substantial margin. Even their offlane Darkseer, who struggled early, now on top of the bat. So across the board, Liquid, you already mentioned the supports are really falling behind on LFY. Kind of natural when there's a Crystal Maiden in the game that she'll be ahead, but even the Slardar pulling well into the lead, so Liquid just dominating this laning stage. They'll mow down this tower. Matumba Man securing better positioning around the Roche pit for his team. Tier 1 top down eventually, and then Liquid could be thinking about a Roche in this next 5-10 minutes, so it's looking a little dicey for LFY. They're going to make the Bristleback rotation. Now he takes over bottom.
I like this move, but he's not going to actually get the tower. It looks like Liquid can take a tower of their own mid and already rotate bottom to defend it. Darkseer very good at defending these towers with Iron Shell. And that tower mid got Matu his Midas, so he's got a 10-minute Midas, already starting to accelerate his farm, and you can expect that Radiance to come in very swift fashion.
Under attack.
And Mind Control also rotating. He'll be manning up against Monet here. And it does look like LFY on the smoke as they LFY get that might open up the tower. They might still find Mind Control on the retreat. No, Super's Lina not going to go up that hill, so he makes it
already
out.
top though, LD. There's already a trade in motion, so they get the T1 bottom with this rotation, but it's a smoke, 4-man bot. Meanwhile, a Sven by himself takes a T1 up top. Lone Druid's farming in the lanes, in the jungle. Overall win heavily favoring Liquid. They've now up to a 5,000 gold lead. The kills haven't been going Liquid's way. They're just farming.
It almost looks like they're thinking about a Roshan here already, just congregating near the pit. Perhaps a bit premature for that. They'd at least like to get this mech for Mind Control, I imagine. We can see the flank coming from Matumba. Aggressive maneuver from him. One root on a support. That's likely a kill. But not actually going to commit to it. So yeah, Liquid take over the enemy jungle. They still have their Darkseer farming bottom. Kuro taking over mid, spreading a lot more. LFY clumping quite a bit, and a lot of this, guys, you have to imagine due to the loss of map control.
Yeah, losing those early towers, they're getting heavily punished for it. You really don't want to see that T1 mid go down as early as it did, but there was just not really anything they could do once Lina gets picked off. Free damage from the Lone Druid Bear onto it, and Matu is showing his proficiency in playing this Lone Druid, be it in the safe lane or the carry lane, or the mid lane, sorry. carry wherever he goes. And
is Monet actually going for a hood this game? Do you like
queued up?
I mean, do you like the? There's, I guess, a radiance, but it's mostly physical damage this game, really.
It's not great. I think I would have preferred the Vanguard straight into Solar Crest.
Oh, Afu, he would prefer for this not to happen as he rolls directly on the Miracle. That is not the escape plan he had in mind. Quick and easy. Liquid surging ahead. I mean, we haven't seen anything out of the Bristleback yet. Normally this guy is like the boss of even the early laning stage, and then definitely by 15 minutes he's applying pressure, but it's been Sten getting more done early, Lone Druid accomplishing a lot early, and quiet from LFY's cores as of yet.
He's hit level 10, so this is where he gets that first big strength boost. He gets the +8 strength from his talent. He really needs to start defending towers and going with his team. The bottom tier 1 is where they'll make their stance.
Plays again from Matumba Man. Missing on the boulder smash. Afu still pursues. They don't have that vision hero this game. You know, that is a weakness of the draft, where generally when you see Disruptor, you know, Slardar is a popular pickup, like way back in the day, IG, you know, TI2 era would run the Lone Druid and the Bear would give vision, but they really don't have anyone. There's no Night Stalker. It's only Bat Rider, but it's an under-farm Bat with no mobility items as of yet, so it's not easy to set up those glimpses.
Well, they committed a lot of hero bottom for that one. Monet's already swung mid to try and push out this lane, but all LFY get out of it is a tower deny and instantly smoke up. We'll see where they look to head at this point, but they need to find their next kill in tower. Mid lane looks like a good place to collapse upon around this Bristleback.
It feels like this gank has to work for LFY. And it doesn't look like it will right now. Liquid are backing away. They reveal Afu. They could catch this Earth Spirit out early. GH charging into position. No cross evasions yet, but a great boulder smash. Stunning Storm. The counter trap from LFY. They roast Liquid within. 3 fall just like that. Oh, you thought you had trapped us, they say. You were wrong, Liquid. You were oh so wrong. And now Sven forced the TP away. That looked really ugly for a second, Gods, but Afu to the rescue with that boulder smash.
Yeah, the good thing is they find a time in the smoke before Slider has blinked. So when that smoke pops on Liquid's side, they don't actually have a way to initiate. Slider, the smoke pops and, well, Earth Spirit sees the Slider, but he's not getting crushed by him. He's able to just outrun him and then turn for a nice 3-man boulder smash. Without a Slider blink, that was just a move that Liquid couldn't make work. Hero in the front lines may have been able to get like a Crystal Nova into Frostbite, but either way, good play coming out from Afu, able to enable his team to just win a much-needed team fight.
That was not how I thought that rotation would go. I figured they'd either kill the Lone Druid or he'd just back and nothing would come of it, but LFY, they certainly have been delivering on the clutch team fights throughout the event, and still trailing by a substantial margin after that, but it gets them close to the Bat Blink. That could fuel the aggression, potentially, gives them a little injection of confidence here. Heading towards the mid-game. In
some ways, they probably would have rathered the Lone Druid kill, though, because Matu still alive, 3.2k gold. They killed 3 heroes, bills, supports, and the offlaner. They also gave up a kill to the Lone Druid. So the 3-for-1 trade when the Lone Druid lives and gets a kill doesn't hurt Liquid all too much. They're still leading, maybe not by quite as much, but Matu, once he gets this Radiance, is going to be such a strong force to deal with.
Oh, there's that hood complete. We'll see if he goes for the full pipe here.
It's just like...
I mean, the casual hood is just, this game.
Very little magic damage coming out from Liquid's draft. The Iron Shells...
And late game, it's just it feels useless. It's like all Sven damage, all corrosive haze, all right click.
Yep, put me down in the not a fan column for that one, and... we'll see.
And he is committing to the pipe here, so I guess this is like, all right, we want to be able to match right when that Radiance comes online. Normally the team with the Radiance just wants to take a big fight, and with the pipe, perhaps you can stand toe-to-toe with them. But if that doesn't work out, then this is really going to be an item pickup that Monet comes to regret.
One of the nice things is if you put it on Bat, he can still use his Blink Dagger when there's like the Radiance on him, since he won't be taking damage with the barrier, but ultimately that's like a very small little mechanic that I don't think LFY is like... I don't think that's on their mind when they're building this pipe, like, let's build a pipe so our Bat can use his Blink Dagger with the bear on him. Like, no, that's definitely not on their mind. Their idea is, let's 5-man. We're going to be going at them as 5, trying to use our team fight. Items like mech, pipe, flads, these items are very good. Drums they've already got. They want to have the strongest 5v5 possible, and end of the day, they probably will be 400-ish magic damage blocked by the pipe on a few heroes because of Iron Shell, because of a CM Nova. CM Nova alone does 200 AoE damage, so they will get value out of it. There's just so many other good items.
LFY on the hunt. Rotating up the hill in flame. Out in front, they converge. Tier 1 now under siege on the top side. It's all about these crucial Roche control towers for both teams, and Liquid aren't having it. They don't want to be fighting before that Radiance is ready. Unfortunately, LFY are going to find an opening. Kuroki revealing himself in mid, but they want a bigger kill. It looks like they hesitate. Now they jump in. They commit the lasso for Kuro. They're fighting under the shrine. They zap him down, wasting no time to getting that kill, and now they want to get out. Super, though, is being pursued a little bit as GH scurries forward. Got the corrosive haze off on
just being delivered on Slider, but it's a little bit too late to take the fight. They just didn't quite get vision of Darkseer there. The Batrider has very bad vision compared to most heroes.
And they don't have that other hero. Often when we see the Batrider, it's like with a Night Stalker, for example, but not the case this time around.
If they found the core hero there, I think they'd be okay with that smoke. Realistically, they wanted to find a pick and have Liquid respond so they get a big team fight going where it's like, oh, Liquid lose a hero, and then they try and take a fight 4v5. And they can use like bring the Bristle back in and use their strength, get some Bloodstone charges on Lina going, but not to be for LFY. Still, they're keeping themselves in it. It's still competitive, but they're being out-farmed, and the items are even still. They're yet to come for Liquid. The initiation towards the Blink Dagger.
This is a big opportunity, though. Finally, a core could be there as they glimpse Miracle back. Static Storm awaits. Stun coming through. Pummeling with auto attacks, but he's a little bit too tanky. They don't seem to have the firepower. They taser him with the Laguna. They will finish him off. Crucial for LFY as Super now gets pulled back in, but he hits the Ravage Light Strike array of his dreams. 3 trapped within. Liquid are evaporated again. LFY clutch fight after clutch fight, and now perhaps the Roche pit awaits.
Damn, that is a team fight and a half coming out from Super's Lina and Arfu God on the Earth Spirit once again. Gets everyone in the Magnetize, gets the AoE silence and stuns. What a play coming out from LFY. This is where this team has excelled and caught so many people by surprise in this tournament. A lot of people talk about their draft, but their team fight execution and coordination is insane, and that's exactly what they showcase right there.
They love to fight. This team really loves to rumble, and Liquid, they're not ready yet. Radiance is close, if not already up, but it's not there for that fight. And they did it under a shrine too, guys. Not often you'll see a team so confident to pick a fight there, but LFY, they're hitting their timings at a crucial moment as Liquid's lead has disappeared. They'll look to slow things down now.
Yeah, I think it really is the timing point where you take the first smoke and then that subsequent team fight both happened kind of before the Slardar, Blink, and the Radiance. The Blink was just getting picked up, but Liquid, they didn't actually make any smoke.
Somebody called PETA.
Poor little bear.
Getting the hate lasso from Inflame.
He's fine.
Hey, that's an endangered species, man. He's wielding the panda.
Oh, yeah.
Be respectful.
Stay away from him. Well, Liquid now, you get this Blink on Slider, you really want to be the one setting the tempo, making the moves, but they were waiting for the Radiance as well, so being responsive with this Slider Blink isn't really the ideal way to use it, but now Liquid, they're the ones making the plays, using their smokes, probably knowing that LFY have also pretty much used through, I want to say, every single smoke in the last 5 minutes that they've had, so...
well, now is that time. Slardar, Blink you mentioned, Radiance you mentioned, and they are on the hunt, and they'd love to start things off by finding Afu, who has been so disruptive in these team fights. Super, not really the ideal target unless they can cleanly assassinate him, as yes, he does have that Aegis.
He's got 17 Bloodstone charges all of a sudden, all just from one big team fight. That is very problematic.
Oh, and he's feeling every one of those charges, just runs up the hill blind. Yeah. But now they've got the vision here on Liquid. They do have some wards over towards that northern side of the map, so able to keep tabs on them. In fact, they might look for an opening. GH blinking back into the river.
We'll see the Halberd almost complete from Monet. So we talk about the other items. These are the items that make a lot more sense for the Bristle this game. The Halberd, the Solar Crest. Perhaps a Lotus Orb could be kind of nice, but I want to say, like, the armor items are good. The evasion is even better. The disarm on the Sven, if you can get him before a BKB. Same for the Lone Druid. Even just popping it on the Bear could be really nice, so...
It's kind of a tough game for Liquid because they don't really have the easiest time. Like, you can't really rush an MKB on Miracle or even the lone druid, you know, you're going to need some armor items first for the bear. So the window where this evasion is extremely strong is quite a bit wider than some other games.
Here you go, LFY. Can't believe this. They still have a smoke left. This has got to be their last one for quite some time, and there's a good chance this one succeeds around this mid lane.
Monet parked in front. I mean, Liquid certainly has to suspect it. Mind Control sits back. Crucially, no blink on the Darkseer, so they don't have that threat of like a blink vacuum into a Crush or Stormbolt.
Batrider has a 4-star with the blink. If he can catch someone on the high ground and pull them out if he's quick about it, this is so
sitting back
dangerous.
though. Matumba is out in front. That's probably the most difficult hero to bring down, especially with the war cry.
Bat is ready. He's in the perfect position. No Radiant Ward has scouted him just yet, although it is being pinged, and the bear, yeah, the bear pokes its nose up, finds the bat, and they now know that the bat also has a force to go with the blink. This is the danger item. He's the ideal target for Slider to initiate on.
Miracle does tank a quick little stun here. They're going to try and deal with that Spirit Bear. They gang up on him instead, and now rolling in. Apu looks to assist. He's there with the Magnetize. He gets the silence off as well again. It's Apu to the rescue. Liquid, though, trying to turn the tide. They've got the wall down, and Sven is getting the hit, but he can't deal with Monet. Mind Control's got him back. Trapping Matu on the high ground. The Spirit Bear is what he really cares about, though. That is just chilling on the low ground for now. Very low, but not dead yet. Miracle needs help. He needs some support. He's not getting it either. Finally, the bear wakes up and runs in and feeds. The Radiant Courier dies too, joining
That's his TP.
a painful party. And with that down on the cliff, he'll sit and he'll think about it. He summons his comrade to keep him company, but that bear is currently feeling rather useless.
Yeah, really nice play by the Bat and the Disruptor. Matu was just not anticipating the Observer Ward being planted. It wasn't on the cliff, it was to the west, and he got caught by a glimpse, pulled back in to start that fight off, and that completely ruined his day. He got pulled back in, lassoed by the Bat, and pulled onto that cliff, and LFY able to convincingly win a team fight. Super cleans up on the Lina, doing incredible amounts of damage. 20 Bloodstone charges now. That little green ring around the Bloodstone, that means he's got an insta respawn. This is a very unexpected thing to have happen at this early stage in the game, but he is playing explosively.
Yeah, Super not the most explosive laner, and certainly was under a lot of pressure this game, but where LFY have consistently excelled is just stable mid-game decision-making and team fighting, and that again is the story of the game against Liquid here on the big stage.
They've got such good answers for the Spirit Bear. I feel this game, the Bristleback's really good at kiting around, isn't too afraid of it, just goos it up and all that. You've got lots of disable and lockdowns for it. When you can control the Spirit Bear, it means it's very easy to punish Matu playing too aggressively with it and just get that free 300 gold. And once you kill it once, if he sends it in again, he's going to play much more conservatively with it. So very hard game for him. And I think more importantly, Miracle just getting kited around. Still no BKB. Until he gets this, there's not a whole lot he can do.
Have another look at this fight where you can see LFY started by ganking the bear, but crucially as Miracle jumped in and GH jumped in, Apu got the silence, magnetize, boulder smash. He completely took them out of the fight. Miracle got some good cleave damage off, but the problem is, like, they cannot deal with Monet gods unless they can completely kite him. They really need the bear to be rooting him, and that bear was just sitting, not being microed while Matumba was trying to send himself a courier. Ended up with a TP, ended up dying. Spirit Bear then runs in and feeds. It was just a very chaotic fight for Liquid, and LFY seemed to catch them quite off guard.
Yeah. Matu trying to be the selfless player and save Kuro at the end with his bear there, but I don't think it was worth it to really...
It's a
Crystal Maiden,
It's a Crystal Maiden.
Yeah.
She ain't worth much.
Well, things go from good to bad to even worse for Liquid. They had such a strong laning stage, pulled out with a very sizable lead from their farming efficiency, but now find themselves struggling to match up to LFY when it comes to the team fight. And
they don't have like the best pure bristle, you know, counter by any means. Like, they have corrosive haze, but they don't really have a solution for evasion. They don't have that silver edge carrier.
Absolutely, that's right
a
now
big
a big
weakness for
problem.
their lineup, but they're going to try to make this work anyway. They smoke up. They wrap around, but look at the positioning of LFY. They've got the high ground from every direction. Still, though, Liquid do get the jump. Crucially, Afu gets pulled back in, and Miracle looks to hunt him down, isolating that pesky Earth Spirit. He rolls. He won't get very far, though. Thrown up in the air, and now going to drop back down into the waiting arms of the Sven. He'll commit the Magnetize. Monet could be next. This is the kind of art that Liquid hate. They want to burn it, but can they really chase down the Bristle? Already buying back was the Batrider. He doesn't have a great teleport location. He TP'd to the tier 2 top. He won't find more, so a good fight there for Liquid. They kill off the Bat, they kill off the Earth Spirit, they force the buyback, but they don't get a core, at least not the most important one.
Yeah, good insta-stun from GH. If he doesn't blink stun there right away, Bat gets a lasso off on the Sven, so not hesitating to go for an initiation. He was fairly blind as well. They didn't have any vision of that shrine. They have a ward to the east near Roshan, but that only gives a sliver of vision on that heal. So I want to say he may have just been playing guesswork when he went for that blink stun, but that saves Miracle's life and secures the team fight.
They're going in again. This Matumba Man train might catch Paydirt on the other side, but meanwhile, Miracle's gone in. It was kind of a split initiation by Liquid. So far paying off. Super gets caught out, and now in trouble. They collapse onto that Lina in the tree. She gets trapped by a savage roar and gets brutally wrecked too. Liquid find another. Not quite an instant respawn, but damn close. Up in 4 seconds. LGD forever young. Getting a little sloppy here, gods. They just keep on getting caught by these Liquid maneuvers.
Yep. They're getting caught split up. That's the big thing is here. They're strongest when they're initiating, when there is 5, and we're seeing Liquid find openings to get picks and to ignore the Bristleback. Anytime they can ignore this Bristleback.
Monet says, screw it, man. I'm going in. However, Miracle is pretty damn strong if he's able to hit, but he gets lassoed. He gets pulled back in. There's the back. Where's the follow-up stun? They need the cleave in action, and Miracle brings it in, slicing his way through LFY, forcing the lean on her heel. She just died once. Now out for 30. Bat on the deck as well, and Monet getting pounded, surrounded, completely confuzzled, and in the end, he will mount. Liquid make it 4. It's their turn to make the clutch plays. It's their turn to have the numbers. And it's LFY's turn to lose some towers.
Having the defensive items there, the mech, all this sustain, and then what a vacuum from Mind Control. His Darkseer salvages the entire fight, and with 3 dead, no buyback, this could just be a lane of racks. Matu, with the attack speed boost from the Rabbit, can push very fast on the Lone Druid.
It's been a back and forth game. LFY just, I mean, a team of the Batrider gods has, you know, back in the day when Bat had better vision, it's like there's no way you get that jump. Now with his reduced vision, you are a lot more reliant on either other heroes or wards, and they just didn't seem to have them in those last 2 skirmishes. Cost them in a huge way. LFY, though, are looking for an opportunity here. Inflate. Oh, give away the triple stun, and with that, Liquid retreat secured.
Looks like they wanted the bear. They knew Matu didn't have a resummon if they killed it, but Lasso was on cooldown for about 2 more seconds when Bat made his move. Super's chasing, but the rest of the team seem to have different ideas. LFY need to remain on the same page. Fight together, retreat together. They cannot afford to be fragmented in their approach to this game. They need everyone completing for the same objective, and that is to teamfight Liquid. Very hard to fight this Vacuum Slider Crash combo if you group up for a big vacuum though, and we'll be seeing that Darkseer approach that level 20, get that extra AoE I imagine on that key vacuum spell, but it's a little bit of a ways to go.
Wondering if we see some BKBs here at any point for LFY. So far, Bristleback not opting to go for one, Lina not opting to go for one, even Batrider is going back for Yule Scepter when you know, there isn't that much magic damage, but that combo is just so devastating that you have to wonder, do at some point they want that combo breaker? Just not seeing it for now.
In their minds, they also want to have the armor, the defensive item, like Lina going for the Shiva's Guard. It's going to be a very useful item to have, but it's going to mean that she has to be very careful with her positioning not to get caught in that vacuum. Perhaps could have seen Batrider again. I think Batrider with a BKB could be a very effective initiator, having a guaranteed lasso into a 4-star pullback. But for now, things will settle down. I imagine both teams will kind of have to just consider their next movements in a very cautious fashion. Liquid didn't manage to take the tier 3 tower top. It has 2 hit points, but that means the shrines cannot be taken out systematically by Liquid at this point. Although I imagine LFY may even look to defend them given the option to.
All about that next Rosh now, as LFY lurk in the neighborhood. Liquid not looking to give this up easily. They'll show Monet mid. Monet has been a tough kill, but Liquid are going to try for it. God's Strength committed. They barely clip him with the crush. They hit him from behind. They want to get in front. Chewing through him with the crits. Miracle does some good work. Corrosive Haze combines. He needs more armor. He needs more armor. He doesn't have it yet. Monet survives the static storm is dropped. He hangs on, but he will eventually fall. Miracle is the trade. Sven Big Daddy down 2, and now DDC. What else can he find? GH is very isolated, deep behind enemy lines. Looks for the retreat, but DDC says, come over here. Pulls GH right back in. Bristleback turning into Bristle Boss now as though he fell. He bought the time needed for LFY to turn the fight.
Yeah, they just didn't quite have the damage to bring it down fast enough. Sven just saying 40% back damage reduction. I can DPS through that, and Miracle was very close to doing so. And they did ultimately achieve it, but...
There was a moment there where they just kind of stopped hitting him and started going for other targets.
Yeah.
Maybe that was a bit too greedy by Liquid. They end up getting punished as LFY move into the pit now. And they look for the Roche. No Slardar buyback, no Sven buyback.
Without the Bristle, they didn't do this all that fast, though. This could get punished, LD.
The Bristle will come back shortly before the Sven. So LFY should at least have their full 5 around the same time Liquid do, but they don't do it fast enough for a clean take. Meanwhile, Liquid, they do the Roche ultra quickly. You cannot step out of the pit for long. And LFY, they waste no time. They smoke. They move towards the pit. Inflame out in front. Flapping across the trees momentarily. You got to imagine LFY are looking for the jump. They don't have great vision, but they know Liquid roughly their coordinates.
They get the ward down.
Camping near the shrine. They have the vision now. They can jump if it's only a Crystal Maiden, but still, it's a 4v5 power play after he drops, and now they've got more. The follow-up catch was mind control. Back wall, but where's the combo? It's a decent 2-hero stun by GH, but the Sven's not hitting. He's not doing anything during this combination. Now Miracle arrives. Hits the 3-hero God stun of his life, but not able to kill anyone off super. Bloodstone denies Seppuku for him, and Monet now forced to retreat. Miracle on the warpath, charging in, blinking forward on the DDC, kills him off too. A 2 for 2. The bear cycloned as Afu tries to get out of dodge, doing what he can. Roared back towards safety, actually now rolling out, but the back interrupts, and Liquid slammed the door. 3 down. Miracle doesn't need vacuum gods. He doesn't need setup. He gets it done on his own.
Yeah, the bat was just waiting around for Sven to initiate to go for a lasso on him, but Sven wasn't even at the fight. Miracle showing up towards the end of the fight pays dividends for Liquid.
Is Monet going for this? He wants to run in. Right. Not the sneakiest Roche steal of your life. He'll be savage roared away.
That's not gonna work.
See you later, buddy. There's no place for porcupines in this Roche pit.
Will they chase him down now?
He proved to be mortal in the last chase, but Sven did have his God Strength currently on cooldown. Chivas is there. They're trying to deal with the Spirit Bear. They yules it, but it just walks away. And from, 20 Bloodstone charges, Super continues to plummet, now down to 8.
That is not what you want to see after such a good start. That's when you know things are swinging heavily back in your opposing team's favor, and Liquid have smaller the lead now, 6,000 gold at 35 minutes, but more importantly, strategically, with an Aegis, with the crit now coming on the Sven, they are looking incredibly strong and have shown their prowess with their teamfight execution. Darkseer Mind Control has been the big player for them, and as far as LFY go, they're going to look to see what they can do. And Ags on Disruptor could be a problem item to deal with. If you catch someone like Sven with a lasso, you drop a Ag Static Storm on him, there isn't really a good counterplay for that. Darkseer can't easily counter-initiate because of that Static Storm, and the Sven cannot BKB it off.
It's crazy, guys, because you mentioned Liquid's teamfight prowess, and this wasn't even like their best potential fight. They got a 2-hero crush, a back wall with no follow-up. Miracle came in extremely late, but then he hits the 3-hero Stormbolt, and he just runs them down anyway, and they don't seem to have someone who can stick on this Sven and make them back away.
It was so weird because, like, it's so very unoften you say, oh, Sven not being there was good for Liquid, but it really was the case, because if he's there, that ward, if that sees the Sven, they jump him. They throw the Static Storm on him. He's the majority of the damage output. They bring him down, but he shows up after Static Storm, after Lasso, and none of the big ultis were there. When Sven initiates, they've got nothing to deal with him.
Miracle going for the Wombo combo items now. He completes the full data list. No MKB for him. Not really worried about that halberd. It just feels like he can kill everyone else, and then Bristleback is easily dealt with.
Go cleave through other people and hopefully hit the Bristle if you can, but yeah, the halberd's going to be annoying if he gets disarmed before the BKB, but he's going to want to just, have the vacuum into his stun or the vacuum into a Slider stun and just cleave through absolutely everything. And that's where the Daedalus is going to maximize his damage output. Bristle just not feeling as tanky and scary as he should. The Lotus will help a little against the amp damage, but it's not really feeling like a carry Bristle, more like that team-oriented utility one, and Bristle just not dishing out enough damage in these team fights.
With the way they've itemized, the way the game's developed, Gods, does LFY just fall off from here? Do they have a plan B of slowing it down, trying to go late? I mean, Miracle doesn't want to let them get there anyway. He jumps in, finds DDC, 3 shots, and Disruptor down. And critting through the wave, they chase for more, they back in, flame back in. He instantly dies! Oh my! Okay, that was a 9K crit if I've ever seen one.
It may have done that much damage. It was being full HP. Miracle's just going to hit the top racks. Neither hero has buyback. No Static Storm to worry about. No Lasso. When Bat's dead, it's so safe to put high ground.
You want a tango too? Afu looks to turn the tide though. He does get off the boulder smash. Comboing nicely, but doesn't want to engage with that Aegis to worry about. Miracle imbued with an extra life will take the Rex down. Closing in. Monet to no avail. Chips. He prods, but he hardly tickles at this point. Miracle ignores him. He hits structures. He focuses on objectives, and then Liquid walk away, apparently scot-free.
Yeah, we're seeing the effectiveness of the Sven as a Bristleback counter, not just being able to burst through them and hit buildings and all that, but also defensively, helping yourself and your team. Those quills just don't stack up and do a lot of damage when you've got Warcry on you. And Miracle is a force to be reckoned with. Top of the net worth chart. Very effective play coming out from his Sven.
You just go back, what was it, 15, 20 minutes ago when Liquid just 2 or 3 times just ran at LFY, often even without vision up hills, won every fight. It felt like LFY was in control then, Gods, but they weren't able to get the initiations off. They didn't seem to have quite good enough vision. Liquid were just a little more confident in their maneuvers, and now the game is falling apart.
Well, Bristle may get jumped at top if he's not careful.
Monet hoping that Liquid will go for him. He marches in. He does see Kuro, throws out the goo, but the surge allows him to disengage. So 1 lane of racks down. Items still piling in for Liquid. And if you're the captain of LFY now, what's the game plan? Aegis is going to wear out pretty soon here. What do you look to do?
Keep the Bat and Disruptor back. These heroes cannot get caught. These are the 2 most important heroes to win a team fight as far as positioning goes. Bristleback, obviously he's important, does damage, has lots of items. Same for the Lina, but their positioning is less important than these big playmaking heroes like Batrider. His Lasso on the Sven's BKB. Disruptor's Ag Static Storm. These are your key spells for a team fight, and they're the targets Liquid's always gunning for. That's why Sven jumps in mid lane with the God Strength just to kill Disruptor. He knows that once Disruptor's gone, that's one of the most important tools that LFY have to win a team fight taken away. So keep these heroes hidden, keep them in the back lines, and don't let Liquid get good initiation.
My finest creation, it's Miracle with a double damage rune, a moon charge as well. Monet getting ripped to shreds, now back in. A very timely Yule's, the Static Storm's there, forcing Miracle back on his heels, but still, he's tanky. GH comes in.
4-man crush.
Great crush, no follow-up. They disengaged, they got the CM, they timed out the double damage rune, and now they pull Matumba back in. But do you really want to go on the bear? I don't think that's the hero you focus. They even walk through the wall and into trouble. Miracle re-engages, but it's straight onto Inflame, a bit too tanky for now. He survives GH. Laguna thrown out. It stays alive. The Yule Scepter dodges the Laguna. Liquid, are you kidding me? They stay through it all. They walk away with the Lina, and now they look for more. Miracle does not have Aegis, so Monet would love to get this kill. Quill's getting spammed, but able to blink away. He retreats. Ooh. That was a sick play right there. And painful for LFY too.
We are seeing the Sven with his shorter BKB duration not able to secure kills as easily. When his second his BKB wears off there, Halbert gets thrown out. And when Liquid reinitiate that second fight that broke out, Halbert instantly on the Sven's Blinken. This item is doing wonders as far as dealing with the Sven goes, but you've got to be able to survive his BKB to get it off. And that was exactly what Bristle barely managed to do. The Static Storm wasn't great coming out from DDC. It kind of caused this like bit of a dead zone which Liquid couldn't pass, but it didn't actually secure any big kills. You really want to be the ones initiating, trying to drop that on a Darkseer or a Sven, a Slardar even. You need to find a kill off of the Static Storm. You can't just use it to save your teammates. And the end result is Liquid, while they don't convincingly win the fight, also don't suffer any big losses and are able to maintain big advantage and a big lead in this game.
Again, we're 43 minutes in. No real item progression here on the Batrider. You got the Yule Scepter. He still can't jump into Liquid. Like, unless they have a clear line of initiation, he jumps in. He's getting Storm Bolted, crushed. The heroes that he wants to go on are very tanky. He doesn't have the BKB. He doesn't have a way to disengage. He's actually building towards an Aghanim Scepter now, which is kind of an unusual bat item. We saw it a bit when the Ags was first introduced, but generally teams with Batrider are able to start the fight gods. It's been just Sven running in and blink BKB stun and just start hitting you with God's Strength.
The nice thing is the Ags plays very well against the Wombo combo because Darkseer Slardar are always going to be blinking next to each other when they initiate. Same for the Darkseer Sven. Darkseer blink vacuum in, Sven blink stun. If Batrider positions well, he should be able to counterplay that by lassoing not one but two heroes. So I do like the item pickup.
He does have to counterplay.
Yes, he can't be the one getting. If he gets caught by Liquid's initiation, team fight over.
And
I
don't even think he can go into them unless he's got like a massive numerical advantage, because he's just going to get stunned and then he's dead.
Diffusal pickup for Bristleback. Interesting. Not something you'd normally expect to see.
Purge off the war cry and the battle cry, I believe you can also purge.
From the Lone Druid?
Yeah,
yes,
so that's a lot of bonus armor.
Yeah, definitely good spells to take. The war cry is 20 armor. That's an absurd amount of armor to be able to remove instantly.
The problem is there's a lot of targets to have to purge. That's the worry here. It's a late defusal. We'll see how it pays off for Monet. Out pretty far mid. Liquid marching in, they grabbed the Aegis, and Miracle, he knows one direction at this point it seems, and that way is forward, onwards, and hopefully upwards. They are beating this bear down though, rather rapidly. Gets hit by the boulder smash. LFY would love to kill
Miracle
off.
Wants to jump the back lines. That's why he's ignoring
Does he have the vision up the hill?
He's going to see DDC in a second.
He's blind for now, but he's got an opportunity up top. Inflame could be his target. There's a dire sentry here. Miracle on the boundary. It's almost like he knows.
Yeah, tiny little bit of jitter there. Was, I believe, a smidgen of lag.
Oh, that sentry, if it's just like an inch farther out, they jump Miracle, they pull him in, and it could have been a rare opportunity where the team wasn't there to counterplay.
Well, Miracle may not get his chance to jump the Batrider. That's the key thing here. Jump the Bat or the Disruptor. I want to say Bat's the better target. As long as you BKB first, you're not too worried about the Ag Static Storm. So if you're initiating the Bat, you take him out. Yeah, there's a Static Storm, but you've already got off your key Blink BKB. Darkseer, as long as he's not getting caught, can help you out with a Pipe, a Greaves. So I think Bat is the ideal target for Miracle. And the key thing is he can solo kill him. He doesn't need friends to help him out, and he's got an Aegis. So even if there isn't counterplay, he goes down once. Liquid can then charge in forward, vacuum, Slardar Crush, bail Miracle out.
All hangs in the balance here for LFY in game one.
He's going in.
Pick. Miracle though. Oh, did poke his head into sentry range. They know. Probably hoping that he shows himself again, but he's going to back up to greener pastures, a safer climb, and LFY do D-ward here immediately. It looks like Liquid tried to pull a fast one on them. Kuro going for a sneaky uphill ward, but that is dealt with early.
Yeah, this bottom lane needs to be addressed. It's been a pretty big creep wave, so it looks like the bear is going to be sent down there. Well, Liquid just wait, regroup, continue to keep all these lanes pushed out, wait for a pick to present itself. They've got double cheese, by the way. They've managed to save the second and the third cheese, well, the first two cheeses, but from the second and third Roshan, and 2 cheeses and an Aegis. As we'll see how things develop.
And an MKB soon for Miracle as well. Just to round out the inventory. A little more. Tumba taunting Apfu.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah, as far as heroes to play when things are a bit jittery or shaky, Esport definitely not high on that list.
By the way, Inflame is like really, you know, trying like cobbling together different ideas here. Now it's the ethereal blade he wants. So says screw the eggs. What other items can win my team the game? But it's just like, to me, it shows how hard the game is for LFY now. Like he's just not sure what to get.
Yep. I mean, for him, it's going to be a game of positioning and play. Items can boost up. I don't think the Ethereal Blade's actually an item that's going to help a whole lot. If you're saving a teammate with an Ethereal Blade, you may as well save them with a Blink Lasso on that BKB spend. So I'm not convinced it's an item that's going to be good for him. I'd much rather see the Axe or a BKB that we talked about much earlier on in the game. But yes, this game is going to be very tricky for LFY. They are on high ground defense from here on out, while this Aegis and Double Cheese is in play. And
their high ground defense is decent, but I wouldn't call it amazing here, especially late game when the tower hitters are either ultra tanky, like the Lone Druid is going to sit back, the Spirit Bearer you can afford to sacrifice, and in any case he's got a Cheese, and Sven's got a BKB and an Aegis. So the Glimpse, which was once super effective, you can't count on that now. Maybe a static Storm Ambush with DDC having the Ags, but
yeah,
and it's
they invest a lot in this Axe for disruption. I feel like we've not seen any real value out of it.
They don't have great setup for it, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, unless Afu pulls out the penalty kick of his life.
Well, and the result is, yeah, 4K invest for a support, invest in items like this. He could have had a 4-staff earlier, an extra 4-staff to save your Bristle when he's getting chased down on the numerous occasions, or to save a different teammate, the Lina, for example. There's a lot of other items that could have been effective this game as a support, but you invest 4K, you hope that this item wins you a team fight, and we have just not seen that for LFY yet.
If there's a place to win a team fight, it would probably be this high ground. But Liquid aren't cooperating.
Oh, another DD-LD.
The DD Hay special potentially coming to a theater near you if Miracle checks out bottom.
Yeah. He may just start chipping the tower here with this, knowing he's got the Aegis.
I mean, I don't know if I would call it chipping when Sven's hitting for 550 an attack without God Strength.
Chunking at, maybe. Yeah. Just carving.
Ravaging.
Carving big pieces of stone out of those towers and tearing them apart.
He waits. He waits.
There's a dire ward that on the high ground that will spot a lot.
Do we have a gem on Liquid at this point? Yeah, there is one on GH.
That's a much needed D ward. Take out all those annoying pesky wards, just trying to give LFY whatever defensive vision they can have to protect themselves from that Sven play. And Liquid smoking in up top.
We'll never see this coming, LFY. Or so Liquid hope.
They crushed an Iron Shell creep wave, but hey, you know.
They creeps through your bidding.
They also just planted an Obs by a sentry, so that's
and Bristle marches in. Monet, he won that ward.
They're going to stay up here, possibly in the trees. GH.
The thing is, it's a lot less obvious that Liquid are doing this when all the lanes are pushed than if, you know, say LFY went for the smoke play, but the smoke is going to be wearing off relatively soon. So Liquid wanting a clean opportunity. They don't want to take too many risks here. They do respect that static storm, that glimpse potential counterplay, and they will play it safe. But hey, creeps march in. They start to do some damage to LFY morale, killing off their beloved effigies. Now Liquid gonna creep in again, slowly but surely. The ward wars rage on. At 48 minutes though, slow and steady going by Liquid.
And for LFY, let's wait out this Aegis. That's the overall idea and game plan here. You know, there's about a minute left on that. You need to find yourselves in a position where if M wants to push, you can jump in with a lasso and kill him. With an Aegis, not really all too possible.
Liquid creep in. Miracle's here, so Arcane Rune. At that lower cooldown God Strength if he wants to activate it.
Yeah, I feel like you may just want to throw it and hit some buildings. They're going to lasso the bear. This could actually enable Miracle.
Yeah, he says, great, you blasted the bear, now they're going to bag the static storm gets dropped. It hits basically nothing. Only the Spirit Bear. That's not what LFY need. Is super is to lead by Miracle. A godly level of armor on this Sven. Afu finally going to engage forward. They lock onto the Sven. Age is wearing off relatively soon. Chasing forward. Can they get the kill? Miracle caught within. Now the magnetize effect. Monet closes in on public enemy number 1. They want to slay the beast. They do finally bring him down. No, not quite. Instead, Bristleback will fall and Miracle hangs on, turns around, just keeps on wailing. Becky.
Liquid securing game 1. They had a great early game, but we saw that LFY team fight coordination turn things around. They managed to put together some great team fights with the Lena Bloodstone getting up to 20 charges. Afu's Earth Spirit was doing Afu things, but ultimately once Liquid hit their items, once they got the Blink Daggers up, that's when things started looking a whole lot better. They managed to actually take the initiative themselves. They smoked up, they started the fights, and when they were the ones setting the tempo, it was looking all Liquid.
Liquid looking very calm, composed here. They took some risks that game with the smoke ganks, often with no vision. Pill didn't have a vision hero really, but all of them worked out. They were very decisive when they took fights, and just some fantastic individual play. I mean, Miracle hit 2-3 hero stuns that game. One of them actually mattered in a team fight, and felt like that just turned the game around.
Yeah, I think it's a good point to bring up that Miracle really did show up and do a lot of damage, because it felt like Matu's Lone Druid, his bear kept getting killed again and again. It was a very tough game to play Lone Druid, so when he's getting controlled and they put a lot of effort and energy in their draft into countering the bear, the Sven went kind of unnoticed in a lot of these fights and just got to cleave through absolutely everyone. But I think the big hero was the Darkseer. He set up so many of those fights, his vacuums into crushes, into 3-man stuns. We saw it again and again. This Darkseer pick just enabling Liquid to turn around any team fight.
I think it was like 30 minutes there where it was Liquid starting the fight straight, and with that, Liquid continue their surge here at Epicenter. They take game 1 in the best of 3. Can LFY bounce back?
Things getting hot and heavy in that one, so much so I've had to de-tie. This is going to be a big final semi-final. Joining me on the panel then, I do have the ever lovely Purge, the Alright Fogged, and my future husband Winter. Gentlemen, let's think about this one. We have seen it go relatively close down to the wire. Was it clear cut for you at what point, Kevin? What point did you feel like that was locked down for Liquid?
Well, I thought very early on, it looked like they were going to be able to close the game out easily, but then they took those 2 really bad fights, and then they got behind, and then it kind of looked like it was going to swing the other way. But another 15 minutes later, it looked like the game was fairly closed out for them. They had BKBs on the heroes they needed, like Sven, for example. So as long as